Hey guys, here's just another quick representation. Stimulating earth dogs in the city for hunting purposes. So there's a bit of a range here. Dogs are scattered, so I'm just going to move over here to this tree. Foxes use this area. The tide is extremely low right now, so foxes use these areas to get around and take 4 or 5 chickens from the chicken coop, go back through the tidal area. So now I've just come through this area here. Now I find 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guarantee you, so they've gone in here under the brush. I don't want them to get all muddy because we're getting back in the car, and so the rest will head them off around this side. There we go. And there's eyes there. So they move together as one. Now we'll move around and continue stimulating. Nothing to catch, nothing to kill. But we are now, they're earth dogs, so they're hunting. We're hunting for all intents and purposes. These dogs work during the day and night as that intermediate, most efficient point of therapy for people with PTSD, specifically returned servicemen. And this is how I keep the dogs sane. So the dogs make humans sane, and then this is how I keep the dogs sane. So this is all you need to do. We're just next to a football field over there. Can't see, lights are off. So that's a grandstand, or that's a whatever that is. There's a football field there. Okay, so it's a football club, then there's a school, riparian zone next to the creek, which shoots off the river. Tide is very low at the moment. Foxes get around. Look at those prints there. There's some fox prints further up. This is the only place in Brisbane that I've seen foxes while I'm out with the dogs. Otherwise I've seen one flash across the road in Maruka. We're in East Brisbane now, and joining up to Norman Park. There's heaps of foxes around here. Quite often people are saying that they've lost a number of chooks suddenly overnight, and there's nothing but a few feathers. That is the work of a fox. And quite often when we're out in areas like this, we'll see feathers around. Not that often, but when we do see feathers around, they're always, there's a pile of feathers, they are always next to a creek like this. Always. Never seen them anywhere else. So these dogs are bred specifically for foxes. So that's how we reach returned servicemen, because they've got a particular attitude, they've got a particular edge. So you've got to treat them as the kind of dogs that they are. You've got to treat returned servicemen and police and security guards and special operatives as what they are. They're trained to be the best of the best in the field that they were trained to be. In this case, what I'm referring to is armed conflict or first response to all kinds of scenarios. And if anyone's going to be shooting guns, then it's going to be these people, and hopefully they're shooting their own guns. Yeah, so it's a hard thing to understand, but then when you put these dogs with those kinds of people, then there's a bridge formed very quickly, because these dogs are ready to go. Someone who's spent their whole adult life training to be the best soldier they can be for armed conflict. Can have a difficult time after they've gone to armed conflict. Politicians withdraw them quite often before the whole war is won. The battle might be won, but the war isn't necessarily won. This is where we saw a fox disappeared into here. Just like that, disappeared, gone. And then another time I saw the fox about 50 metres, or where are we? I don't know, probably about 150 metres from here. Oh no, yeah, 50 metres, just around there. 50 metres, and it literally just vanished into thin air. Just like that, gone. So we can come and track them and hunt them with very little chance of actually being able to capture them because they're just too fast. We get all the stimulation for the hunting and everything like that, and then the tracks just disappear into a creek. They follow the scent trails with no tracks, and then you come to the creek, there'll be some tracks and be some disturbance. If that's where we find the feathers, I don't know what the story is with that, but you'll find the feathers. Like I see there's a path, the creek is there, and you find them just down like there, 5 metres from the path, 5 metres from the creek. So this is the easy thing to do. If you've got a Dachshund, Dachshund, any type of terrier, any type of earth dog, then this is very easy stimulation for them. There's possums around here. Pretty sure the only ground animals that they're possibly going to be disturbing are feral cats. So there is a risk with it. You have these dogs impeccable to be able to call them off something. But if it's under the ground, not really much chance of calling them off. An extra instinct kicks in. We'll wrap it up when we get to here, but we'll just see what we get down here. Oh, there's quite a lot of land in here. I see. Did not realise that there was so much land in here. So if we have a look here, see there's some tracks there. That's a track of some kind. Not necessarily a human track. It looks like kids make these tracks, but see, it goes on there. This could be made by kids because it goes in underneath there. Oh. What do we have? Okay. That's what I'm talking about. This is an ibis. These are ibis feathers. But you see what I mean? Okay, so there's a hell of a lot of stimulation for the dogs right now. Scent. Just fed them before bringing them out, and they're going to want that. This is a great little spot. I don't know why these homeless people go and shack up in the parks, next to highways, under bridges and things. Look at this spot. It's perfect. Beautiful big tree. That's a tea tree. This is just magic. Tell you what, if that creek wasn't dirty and polluted, I'd be living right here. Just throw my swag right there. Right there. Look at that. 16 degrees right now in Brisbane. But it's very comfortable. No wind at all. Very comfortable. So this is a kind of landscape and foliage that is great for the dogs. We're right in the middle of the city. quite shaly here as well. It's interesting. So anyway, I'll wrap it up. There's quite a bit of land here. I had no idea that there was so much land back here behind that scrub. Okay, no wonder the foxes could just disappear into thin air. I've seen 2 foxes here in this area. And, you know, if there's going to be a warren, oh sorry, a rabbit warren, if there's going to be a rabbit warren, it's going to be in areas like this, because they use the riparian zone vegetation next to the creeks, and you're always going to have industrial land backing onto the creeks because of the way they set things up in the old days. So if there's going to be foxes or rabbits at home, then the home is going to be in environments like this. And why wouldn't you? So this is a great find. It smells here. This is not really that old, so I'll just let them have a bit of a sniff here, make sure they don't roll in anything, because we're getting back in the car. And so this is also another thing for their sanity, because for all intents and purposes they're hunting. Now we've come across this, so it fills a need. It fulfills some kind of need for them. I just spotted that hole there. There's the boxer. And then also we have these kinds of things. See, there's a hole there. It goes down somewhere in there. See, look at that. There's a great place to live if you're a rat, and there's definitely, that's a tunnel. There's something, I'd say, you know, there's something that lives in there. And we're going to leave that in peace. We're not going to try and dig to it. Can't be that interesting as Elvis had a sniff. See if there's anything there. You see how they went straight to it? Now, it's a wonderful meditation. It's great to clear your mind as well, just by letting the dogs do this and coming out, having this kind of experience, because you get close to the dog, you get close to nature. You get close to yourself. And then you can go home and be much closer to your family. And you find little things, you know, you just don't have anything negative to say, you don't have anything unproductive to say, you don't get caught up, you don't have anything, you don't want to talk about the stresses of life. You're just not interested in talking about the stresses of life. You know, don't want to talk about your problems, because you kind of find it all just let go. Now what's this? Just to finish this video off here, what is this? Something has made a little path in there, or something's been lying in there. Something's lying there, and something's lying there. There's scent, seen as having a good smell. So something's been lying in there too, so you know, could quite easily have been a fox den underneath something like this. But they're not stupid enough to leave the feathers outside their own house. Yeah, this is quite a wonderful magic spot. Can't believe there's no one camped here. Incredible. Even got a bit of a lawn. How good is this? Absolute magic. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. So you see how easy it is? We're just going for a walk. And the other thing is, what do we have here? What is that? What is that? It's not a fox's skull, is it? I'm feeling that might be more like a python's skull. Which that is the only risk from the natural world here. And you do get some big ones. Quite magical, isn't it? Looks like a dragon's skull. Put that back there. Yeah, I would wager that's either a miniature dragon's skull, a fox's skull, or a python's skull. As in a carpet python. So we'll wrap it up here, and this is how you do it. Stimulating earth dogs in the city. Not much to see, but that's the point. Right, cheerio.